After a good couple of months away, I'm finally able to look at this game again without wanting to jump out of my window, which means it's time for another episode of
How I Fly.
In this episode, we're looking at the SU-33, which I honestly didn't think I was gonna like given the absence of Fox 3s. But I've actually been having a lot of fun with it. We'll start here by talking about its strengths. It's a really good flight model for 13.0. In fact, its performance can rival that of planes at the very top tier. It's fast, it turns really well, and it has a helmet-mounted display, which is definitely a welcomed addition. Its drawbacks are that, well, for one, obviously you can't carry Fox 3s. On the bright side, the R27 ERs that you do get are kind of like Fox 3 lights. By that I mean they have an inertial guidance system, so as long as you get it most of the way to the target, it's still pretty likely to hit, even when you end up dropping your lock. You're also able to carry up to 8 of these things, as well as an additional 4 heat seekers. So even if you miss, it's really not that big a deal. Now, the other drawback of this thing is that you only get 48 countermeasure slots, so you will have to be careful with how you use those. That said, as long as you get into the notch, 1 or 2 chaff should get the job done. And with how maneuverable this thing is, it's really not that hard to do. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about here, then make sure to check out the video that's pinned at the top of my account. It will explain everything you need to know. The point is, you're not going to be able to rely too much on your countermeasures. To compensate for this, you're going to want to stay pretty close to the ground to confuse the enemy's radar, and I also suggest that instead of flying directly towards your enemy, you fly at an angle to them. This is because if they do fire at you, you're gonna have a much easier time turning 45 degrees to get into your notch than you would 90 degrees. This doesn't seem like a big change, but you'd be really surprised with how much this can increase your survivability. Now, the biggest tip I can give you for this plane is to not worry about trashing your own R27. There's no denying that your R27 is not going to be as capable as something like an AMRAAM. So if the enemy fires at the same time or earlier than you, it's better to go defensive and try again later. You're gonna get much better results out of this plane if you're paying attention to its weaknesses so that you can compensate. So I hope that was able to help, and today's secret word of the day is
Glue Bunga.